Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a look at Saskatchewan's COVID-19 numbers. 2 more people who tested positive for COVID-19 in Saskatchewan have died. One of them was in the 60 to 69 age group in the Northwest Zone. There are 20 new cases of COVID-19 in the province, with 1 in the immediate Lloydminster area, where we have 9 active cases. Saskatchewan has 380 active cases, including 19 in the Northwest, where we have 2 new cases. 53 people are in hospital, with 3 in our zone. More than 1.3 million doses have been administered province-wide, with close to 82,000 in the Northwest. Lloydminster City Council was updated this week on the procurement of an architecture consultant and potential location of a new event arena. Internal and external reviews have been completed to examine the economic and operational feasibility of city-owned facilities. Due to the condition and short life expectancy of the Civic Center, an outside firm recommended the city prioritize the construction of a new event arena. Some city councilors hope to expand the new facility and create a larger event center that could attract big events to the city.
I thought about partnerships and ways we could make the facility bigger without taxing the taxpayer more to do so. And I use Brandon, Manitoba as my example, where they host Briars and Scotties and things like that because they attached it to their exhibition facilities. And I know that that was looked at and it wasn't a feasible thing to do at this time.
The current potential site is a city-owned piece of land east of 40th Ave in between 36th and 41st Street behind Gold Horse Casino. The fact the land is already owned by the city was a major reason the site was preferred. It also has good traffic connection to Highway 16. Councillor Aaron Buckingham is happy to see the home of the Bobcats staying on the Saskatchewan side of the city.
I get a lot of comments about, the facilities are seemingly always on the Alberta side or further away. So as we go forward looking at a project like this, for me, and I know a lot of people will be happy to see that a major investment is coming to that area, because not only will it be the arena infrastructure, when you build something like that, other things follow.
The proposal to procure an architecture consultant has closed and city administration is evaluating the candidates. The proposed consultant is expected to be presented at Monday's council meeting. Along with other aspects of the Lloyd X Fair being affected by COVID-19, the trade show has seen a much calmer crowd, and one vendor is saying they hope to see more support. Our Shelby Clark has more.
This year's event doesn't have as many vendors as it did in previous years, but one woman has been a part of the trade show for 8 years. She hopes with what she's seen so far, the trade show will get more people coming in.
Well, we definitely could use a lot more support today and tomorrow, but just based on the fact that a lot of the vendors here have taken the time to come up, set up, pay the booth, take a hotel, get gas into their vehicles.
Victoria knows that it's been tough for most people through the pandemic and restrictions changing. The trade show has always had strong support in the past during the Lloyd X Fair.
It's been phenomenal. It's just people coming and coming. And on the Saturday night when they close after the fireworks, you cannot move here. I mean, literally, they have the security sending you that way because it's way too packed to get out. It's been amazing in years gone by. Absolutely awesome.
Victoria offers her mini psychic readings at the trade show every year. She even went on to give me my own reading while I attended the event.
But you have incredibly intuitive hands. You really do. Very, very, very creative. I would say you're very suited to your occupation. So you are here to work and understand emotions, not only in yourself, but in all other people. And your sensitivity and your intuitiveness will gather that information for you during life.
Victoria believes residents should come down to the trade show to experience not only her readings, but to check out all the other vendors.
I'm sure that taking the time just to come here and support would be really nice, just, to show some support to the economy, which obviously we all know has taken a huge hit.
Families can still come to the Lloyd exhibition grounds to enjoy the fair and what it has to offer. The event will go until Saturday at 11:30 p.m. Shelby Clark, Primetime Local News.
Yesterday afternoon, the Youth Graffiti Cleanup Program in the Border City kicked off this year's project to help beautify the city. Youth volunteers from the Lloydminster Community Youth Centre and the Lloydminster Native Friendship Centre got the first out of 4 sessions underway Thursday afternoon, where they were cleaning and prepping the wall for paint. For this year's project, they will be painting 2 murals, one of which will feature a local Indigenous artist.
We have actually 2 murals that will be going up on either side of the building here. Both are sort of skyline skyscapes. So the one will be more of a city skyscape with lights and sport type activity, and then the other will be more of a natural landscape, and it'll have some Indigenous elements that were developed in cooperation with the Native Friendship Centre.
For a few of the youth volunteers, they have been involved with the graffiti cleanup program in the past, and they wanted to participate again to help make their community better.
I've done it 2 years before. I helped with the one just about out of town with the silhouette, and last year with the ferry. It was really fun, you know, just like being with the community, helping it out, making it prettier than having graffiti on the wall.
The city, as well as other organizations in Lloydminster, want to get youth involved with this project because it can help shape them in the future.
It's absolutely tremendously important for youth to be participating in programs like this. By giving youth positive volunteer experiences, we are building a foundation for future volunteers in our community. We're providing youth with a sense of ownership in our community, and those positive experiences are things that they'll take with them later into life.
They are hoping to have the mural complete before the end of August. Now our Connor Chan will take a first look at your weather forecast.
All right, thanks very much, Jasmine. So take a look now. We're a little bit cooler today. We're still in the 20s though, but we're still in the heat warning as well, which kind of is a little bit of an oxymoron with the way that our temperatures have been going. We're still getting a lot of high pressure, and that smoke is still definitely playing a factor, and definitely having a huge overcast over the city and parts of Saskatchewan and Alberta. But 21 degrees nonetheless is what we're seeing right now. As we take a look to temperatures in other areas right now, also seeing those low teens, or high teens, excuse me, and then the low 20s as well. 23 for Maidstone, 25 for North Battleford, 22 in Meadow Lake and St. Walburg, with 25 up in Green Lake, and then looking over to Alberta, 23 for Edmonton, and then 21 in Vegreville, and then 25's been down south areas like Wainwright and in Provo. So as we take a look to the satellite radar map, some of that overcast is going to continue to hover over us for a little bit here. We could see some showers kind of passing through northern, coming in from the south into the northern parts of Alberta, as well as into Saskatchewan as well. We may not see any showers. There is a slight off chance that we could see some of those showers as well, as we can see that little area there just north of Lloydminster that could see some rain over the course of the next little while here, but we may not see it for at least a couple of days or so for us to get some thunder showers as well. But take a look now to overnight, 13 degrees, and then we go up 10 degrees tomorrow in North Battleford with some thunder showers with that high of 35. Going into Cold Lake overnight, could see that little bit of that overlaps from what we saw on the radar map overnight at 13, and then 21 will still be a little bit of a cooler day on summer standards at 21 degrees, and then for us in Lloydminster we'll be at 29 tomorrow, so we're going to definitely get a little bit warmer as we get later on into the weekend here. We'll start to clear things up a little bit there, but of course that smoke is definitely playing a major part in the reason we're not getting as much sun as we would like to. As we look ahead to the next 3 days, we are going to drop just a little bit for Sunday, and then on Monday we go back to the 30-degree mark there. We could see a slight chance of showers as well for Monday, with percentages getting close to that 40% mark there, but we'll still be above our averages for July nonetheless heading into the weekend. That is a look at your weather for now. We'll have more primetime local news after the break.
Welcome back. The Draft Horse Show ran Thursday and Friday afternoon at the Lloydminster Exhibition Fair with a variety of hitched classes. Our Jillian Code has the details.
6 competitors entered into the Junior Hitch Draft Horse competition Thursday afternoon at the Lloydminster Exhibition Grandstand. Crowds were on hand to cheer for the next generation of draft horse teamsters. First place in the event went to Taylor Coleman of Didsbury, Alberta, who was driving the Mark Messenger Memorial Hitch. She said nabbing the top spot was a great feeling.
Pretty good. Feel like a champion now.
Taylor is familiar with the draft horse scene. Her father Brian rode shotgun and is a 6-time world champion teamster. Taylor says she's been competing at draft horse events for a few years and says she's found her bearings.
We go to Calgary Stampede every year, and then we go to all down to the States and do a couple shows down there. So we're pretty busy during the summer.
In addition to all of the work and training that it takes to prepare these draft horses for show day, competitors are also judged on how symmetrical their horses look, both in hair color and in muscle shape. Judges are looking for a horse that is rectangular from the front and it is as tall as it is long. Judges were impressed with the showmanship of the junior drivers.
This is what we have to look forward to in the future, and I think we're going to be okay. Congratulations, Teamsters.
One lucky junior competitor will also be the recipient of a $500 scholarship, which is to be given out after the final show on Friday. In an event celebrating the accomplishments of youth in agriculture, many are optimistic about the future of the competitive scene.
Howdy, partner.
Jillian Code, Primetime Local News.
The North Saskatchewan River Baseball League saw its final regular season game of 2021 on Wednesday, and players are now preparing for the playoffs. Evan Kenny has more on how the season finished and what you can expect through the coming weeks.
The NSRBL saw a regular season that was, well, regular. With the exception of a rain delay and a number of COVID-19 precautions, the league went off without a hitch.
The team's definitely happy to be back out there. I know we had lots of really good crowds, people out seeking a little bit of refuge from the COVID isolation, so that was good. The attitude and respect the teams have shown for each other on the diamond has been spectacular this year. It's been really excellent to work with. So.
The season saw plenty of parity, with 3 teams tied for first place in the standings with a record of 9-2, and 4 teams tied for 5th place, sitting at 6-5.
Schedule and standings worked out to be as good as we could possibly hope for, to make sure that we were playing meaningful games right through to the end of the season, so that was good.
Thursday night saw the playoff wildcard matchups where the North Battleford Beavers slid past the Unity Junior Cardinals 7-6, and the Meadow Lake Sox beat the Battleford's Trappers 12-1. Taking a look at the rest of playoffs, these 8 teams will compete in a 3-game series starting on Monday night.
When you look at the standing, this is one of those years where there could be 6-7 teams in there that get on the right run and right roll, and you find yourself winning the league championship.
Finalists for the league's top pitcher and batter will be released next week, as well as the finalists for league MVP. Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
Now Connor Chan will take another look at your weather forecast.
All right, thanks very much, Jasmine. You can kind of see we're pretty mild temperatures for the most part. We're not as warm as we should be, hence with all that smoke that we've been getting from those wildfires up in northern Saskatchewan. Things have definitely looked very overcast, and we're not getting that full potential of the sun that we should be seeing around this time of year. As we look out west a little bit there, 23 degrees in Edmonton and Rocky Mountain House, 19 for Edson, and 16 in Jasper. A little bit of a higher pressure system kind of making its rounds through Alberta and into Saskatchewan a little bit later on into tomorrow as well as into the weekend. 25 in North Battleford, a little bit warmer in Saskatchewan, 28 in Saskatoon, 26 in Prince Albert and Melfort as well. As we look up north, also fairly mild for the most part, as we see 16 degrees in the Losh and Buffalo Narrows, as those areas in the northern parts do have it the worst with the air quality that they've been having over the last little bit here. 11 degrees in Uranium City with 10 in Wollaston Lake, and moving over to northern Alberta, same results there as we see 14s in Fort McMurray and high level, 11 degrees in Peace River, and then 13s in Slave Lake and in Fort Chipeway. Southern Alberta, though, in the meantime, is doing a little bit better as they're seeing warm temperatures as well, as we see 30 degrees in Medicine Hat with 27 up in Lethbridge and in Coronation. Moving over to the southern Saskatchewan areas, they could be susceptible to some thunder showers in the next day or so heading into the weekend, as we could see some severe thunderstorms in southern Saskatchewan and parts of Saskatoon even could see that as well. But 31 nonetheless for Regina, Moose Jaw, and Estevan, 30 in Swift Current, and 28 up in Kindersley. Now looking across the rest of the country here, lots of cloud coverage across the board here as we see it in the eastern provinces and Maritimes, 24 in Quebec City, 23 in Toronto and St. John's, with 25 in Halifax. Vancouver also seeing a little bit of cloud coverage as well at 18 degrees, 12 up in Yellowknife, and then 18 in Whitehorse. So we'll see a little bit of a lower pressure system starting to make its way also about in the coming days or so, where it could result in some showers for those areas in those central areas of Saskatchewan. Now, as we look ahead to tomorrow, we are going to get a little bit warmer, but we could see kind of similar skies, that for that matter, as that smoke's still going to hover over us for a while here. 29 in Lloydminster tomorrow, 28 in Marwayne, a little bit cooler up in the northern areas of us here with St. Paul and Cold Lake at 21, 22 in Bonnyville, 23 in Edmonton and Vegreville for tomorrow, and then we'll see some 30-degree marks in Saskatchewan down Highway 16 east, with Maidstone at 31 and North Battleford at 35. Now, as we take a look to the next couple of days here, we could see a little bit of showers heading into this week as well. As we look on Monday, there is the slight potential there, and then we have a little bit of a more potential on Tuesday with some thunder showers at 31, and another consistent 30-degree week here on the outlook, that is. And then as we'll still see some cloud coverage and sun, and then hopefully things will start to clear up by end of next week here, as we see 32 degrees as our high and 29 as our high for the Friday. That is a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more primetime local news after the break. Well, joining us for the entertainment panel is Abby St. John. Abby, the Emmy nominations are finally out for people to kind of, critique them and see what's the big fuss about this time around. One of the big highlights, though, for the Emmys this year is that WandaVision picked up 23 nominations, which is just part of Disney Plus's elaborate list of nominations. Netflix, of course, leads the way with the most nominations by a streaming service for this year's Emmys. So take us through some of those nominations that stood out to you.
Yes, like you said, a ton of noms for WandaVision, including Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series. Paul Bettany was nominated for Outstanding Actor. Elizabeth Olsen was Outstanding Actress. Kathryn Hahn, Outstanding Supporting Actress, all in the Limited or Anthology Series categories. Also Outstanding Directing by Matt Shackman, and Outstanding Writing, Casting, and Fantasy Sci-Fi Costuming, all for WandaVision, which is absolutely incredible. The Falcon Winter Soldier got one nomination with Don Cheadle. He is nominated for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series. And another thing that stood out to me as well, not about Marvel, was Hamilton got some noms as well. It was released on Disney Plus, and it has received a ton of recognition since it's been released, including Outstanding Supporting Actor with Anthony Ramos, Daveed Diggs, and Jonathan Groff. Thomas Kail, Outstanding Directing in a Limited or Anthology Series as well. Another thing, like you mentioned about the streaming services and Disney having a ton of nominations, Walt Disney Company as a whole has received 146 noms, and that's across ABC, Disney Plus, Freeform, FX, Hulu, and National Geographic. So they are coming away with a ton of nominations for their programming and their shows and their actors and their directing and costumes and all of the above. And another notable fact that I thought was super interesting, MJ Rodriguez, who stars in Pose as Blanca Rodriguez Evangelista. She's the first trans woman to receive a nomination in the leading actress category, and the third in acting categories in general. So I think that's a really huge deal for her and for the trans community as a whole. So I'm very excited for this year's Emmys. There's a ton of shows that have received a ton of nominations, including Ted Lasso as well. A ton of noms for Saturday Night Live, just to throw in some of that mix. So it's going to be a good year for this award show.
And with Saturday Night Live, with Kenan Thompson and lots of great guest actors being nominated, like Maya Rudolph, Kristen Wiig, Daniel Kaluuya, Dan Levy as well, and then Dave Chappelle, and then Bowen Yang, of course, which I found really interesting. He was the first featured player to be nominated for that category as well, so that's good on him as well. And of course, Abby, with the Golden Globes, I know we talked about the Golden Globes on the panel before, and there were obviously some front runners that in some categories categories obviously are translate over into the Emmys. We know there's some favorites like Ted Lasso could be a big contender there. The Queen's Gambit for the limited series with Anya Taylor-Joy also potentially being another big name as well as Josh O'Connor for The Crown. So how much do you think that these Golden Globe wins are going to translate into Emmy wins for some of these actors who are double nominated?
I think we see it a lot of the times with these different award shows, a lot of overlay, a lot of overlapping. I wouldn't be surprised if the Queen's Gambit won what they're categorized in. You know, it was a huge show when it first dropped, and it's still, you know, creating that kind of buzz. Bridgerton is also another one that got quite a bit of noms that we could see a lot of that. The Crown is also another one that we could see a lot of those overlays. So it's not surprising when the Golden Globes winners come over into the Emmys and, you know, vice versa and stuff with award shows. There's a lot of those overlapping wins. So definitely wouldn't be surprising if we did see some of those repeats. It would be nice to see, you know, the different shows win those awards, but I definitely would not be shocked if we see those overlaying from the Globes.
And one thing too, just before we kind of wrap things up here, there's some really standouts to me as well. I'm surprised that, you know, see Kaylee Cuoco's name on that list for best leading actress in a comedy. You know, she was on Big Bang for so long, and, you know, it was Mayim Bialik who got all the attention for Amy Farrah Fowler, so it's great to see her. Aidy Bryant also getting a nod for Shrill as well as Allison Janney as they wrap up their final season of Mom, this is her 4th nomination for that sitcom, and it's just a really great way for her to hopefully she can cap off with an Emmy win. And Abby, just before we wrap things up here, who is one of your dark horse picks or sleeper picks if you had to pick one?
I would honestly say Allison Janney, as you just mentioned, from Mom. She's one of my favorite actresses, and it's nice that she's still getting recognition from the show because it's absolutely hilarious. It is such a good comedy and such a good sitcom to watch. So definitely her, I would definitely say, is kind of my front runner, if you would, about for that category. I think she's done an excellent job on that show, and she definitely deserves the recognition.
And I guess we'll see what happens when all these winners are announced on September 19th. Abby St. John, thanks so much.
Thank you.
There's still time for you to satisfy that craving for mini donuts. There's still time for you to play Crown and Anchor. It's all here at the Lloyd X. The fair continues tomorrow, and you've got an opportunity to enjoy the fair with the family. Admission is free, and they've got a number of different agriculture shows that are coming up tomorrow, including Gymkhana. There's going to be team roping. There's going to be the draft horse pull, and of course, the fair is going to wrap up with a huge fireworks show coming up tomorrow night at 11 o'clock, so make sure you check that out. Oh, and also for the kids, the Ernestine Hatpin Show is going to be back on stage as well tomorrow. There's so much for the family to take in and enjoy as part of the Lloyd X Fair this year. You've still got time to see some incredible racing here at the Lloyd X grounds. The Thunder of the Hooves of the North American Chuck Wagon Championships, they're going to continue throughout the weekend, and Championship Monday is coming up on Monday night. Who is going to win the dash? You could be here to see it live in person. And the North American Chuck Wagon Championships, they're also bringing in some great entertainment for tomorrow night. Renegade Station is going to be here, so a chance to see some great races and check out some live music as well. And make sure you get a ticket for Championship Monday coming up on Monday night. For more details, you can go to LloydEXH.com, and we hope to see you out at the races. As things continue to open up across the province and across our area, you'll be able to hitch up the horses and head out and take in more live events. Make sure you keep your eye on the Vic Juba Community Theatre website because they're starting to announce more and more live shows, including a show featuring Martin Kerr that is coming up next month. More details at vicjubatheatre.ca. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
All right, taking one last look here at your weather forecast. We are going to see some warm temperatures throughout the week here as we get into Sunday and Monday. We will see that 27 and 30-degree days. 31 for Tuesday is a chance we could see some thunder showers, and 31 again on a Wednesday. And then going into Thursday, we will see that high of 32 degrees. We are still in the heat warning, and we're not quite sure how long this smoke is going to hover over us for the next little bit here. So we could see it being a little less warm with that smoke covering the full potential of the sun there. But as we get into Friday, by this time next week, we should still be close to that 30-degree mark, and we're still well above our averages for the month of July.
Thank you for joining us on Primetime Local News. Have a great rest of your night.